Hello, everybody, and welcome to Steakdorra the Explorers review REL Div 1 and 2A. This is week 7. Would you believe that we're basically halfway through the season?
Yeah, I mean, my losing streak, well, my tying streak, I guess, has continued. So.
My slow death spiral has continued, although I managed to win somehow this week, which was kind of impressive, frankly. I don't think I should have. We're halfway through the season, so like time flies when you're having fun, I guess. I didn't really think that we had done that many of these, but I guess we're basically halfway there. Getting to the point where, you know, playoff considerations are certainly in mind for some coaches, trying to keep at the top of the table. Well, Div 1, it's a bit different because that fight will go to like the very last week because there's so many playoff spots in Div 1. But for Div 2, certainly, there'll be some thought about what you need to do for the rest of the season to make those playoffs. We will be looking at matches, as per usual, predicting next week, and we're going to be watching Super Base and Stouticus. Since Grudgy Desserts and Broken Bone Battalion, you know, it's an Elf versus Bash team. We haven't watched Super Base yet, and we kind of have been meaning to for a couple weeks, so I think it's a good opportunity to do so. So we will do that.
So, yeah.
Plus, people don't really tell us what games are interesting. So, you know, we have to pick randomly about 5 minutes before we start. And if we get a bad one, well, you know, too late. Can't really fix it now. We don't put prep work into this. That would involve effort. And that's not something we have.
No, Ben and I spent the day drinking.
Yeah.
Separately, unfortunately.
Drinking and playing Gloomhaven is what I did all day.
I met up with a friend, and we drank bourbon lemonades in the park while her kid played in the water.
Fair enough. Okay, let's get into this, shall we?
Yeah.
And here we go. We have Super Base and Stouticus. I am ready to go, and you are. 3, 2, 1, play. We've got two babes, a wizard and Eldril for Super Base. And Stouticus on the offense first, it seems. Either Elves looking to try to utilize Eldril and his, you know, defensive capabilities while he's still around, or Stouticus just hoping he can get the removals to make his defensive drive easier.
Broken Bone Battalion chose to go on defense first, which I think makes sense.
I agree.
You need full elves to defend.
And Eldril will probably go out at some point, and using his Hypnogaze on defense is pretty useful, and so use him while you have him. Plus, these elves are pretty good defensively, it looks like, with the wrestle and strip ball and stuff.
Ooh, very sunny, so no passing.
From the Nurgle.
Oh, what a kick.
Although that's a very deep kick, which is kind of annoying.
It's a spicy kick indeed.
And he's going to want to make sure that he brings something back to take care of that.
That was without kick, too. I mean, that was like a perfect one.
Stouticus has 3 rookie Pestigors, which is certainly annoying. Or 2 rookie Pestigors. I know the feel. Okay, that loner is okay. We still get to 3 die with the beast.
Wow. So far, no breaks on Armor 7 with Mighty Blow.
Not yet.
0 for 2 so far.
Well, you'd probably expect
to,
for one of these to turn into an armor break at least.
I mean, you expect, yes, at least one, I guess, is a way of thinking about it.
Wrestle tackle on the sidestep. We do get the POW, though.
We get a stun out of it at least, so that's one actual armor break at least. But yeah, 3 Mighty Blow hits with only with no armor breaks is a hell of a thing. This
kind of it gives you the you know, we had the benefit of punching blitzing one of the corners, but we blitz this corner, and we have a kind of a wall.
Ooh, Dub Skullin eats it. Wait, what?
Huh.
I think that was a misclick. It was a 1 in 9, and he clicked on the skull. I think that's what this looks like.
Yep. That was it. That was a both.
Not a great start from Super Base.
No, although it's not like
no punish yet though. That was a free Mighty Blow hit on his best player and didn't even break armor. So.
Yeah, that wasn't great. Although there was not that much he could have really done. Like, he couldn't have gotten too many players around. He was not going to stop the Nurgle from getting sort of a cage going. But, you know, it doesn't help. Certainly does not help. We can get the Beast of Nurgle just, like, right in there.
Yeah, I mean, that Beast is going to get the shit kicked out of
Yeah,
him.
that's fine. I mean, the elves are either going to have to roll dice and dodge away, and they might fail, or they're going to have to waste time punching
they're just gonna
things.
block him. That's not really a waste, though. It's a free 2-die.
I mean, yeah, but you're happy to accept that, so the elves are punching the beast rather than doing anything useful like going after the ball. He has stand firm, like they're gonna have to knock him down. They do, but
They do. 75% of the chance. 75% chance. Yeah, I don't know. I think you could have made that harder, and I think that just choosing
you could have put him I probably would have put him directly in front of the strength guy instead, so that you would have had to explicitly move an assist to make it a 2-die, rather than have it be a free 2-die.
Or moved in one of the guard, like even the guard marauder might have been okay.
Even like, because if the elves have to explicitly move in an assist, that makes it so that they've used 2 players to get him down, which is kind of pretty useful for the Nurgle. There's the reroll that we didn't see before.
Ooh. Man, that was a lot of failed dodges, including a snake.
There it is. Yeah, wow. The elves have not, things have not started very well for them so far.
Despite that, they're in a decent spot, though. The beast staying down there is a big deal. This is kind of one of the problems.
You are ahead of me. There's the really stupid. Yeah, he's gonna want to get the full cage going on here now that the elves have sort of gotten into places where they can do things.
Yeah, an elongated cage, it looks like.
Yeah.
Which makes sense given that Eldril's on the field. A simple cage is not going to cut it.
Yeah, and guard on the inside is the way to do that. Yeah, so we're going with the, I don't know, the bus or whatever people call this.
Does not get Eldril down, though, because dodge is a skill.
It is.
Elects to stay on the loner instead of Eldril. I think I would have stayed on Eldril.
Perhaps, yeah.
Oh, gets accident-prone Andy down to mighty blow tackle. Nothing for it, though.
Well, and then we'll finish off the, we'll replace the cage corner with a different Nurgle warrior.
So this is a, do the elves have guard?
Yes, but it's accident-prone Andy.
You can get a 2-die here. Oh, so yeah, the accident-prone Andy can't easily get in here, I don't think.
No.
So we are going to see a hit on the ball here for at least a 1-die. I think you get a free 1-die pretty much.
One,
Oh,
two,
no, we're
three,
going to make it a 2-die.
5. So that's a 1-die, and then now it is a 2-die, right?
Yes. Reroll, I assume. Caducus once again. I was going to say once again being punished for not carrying on a good Pescador, but that was a double pow. So.
Well, it was also, it was dead in the back corner. And
great scatter for the Nurgle, though, so there's a chance at saving this.
So the downside for that is his options are his like surfing Pestigor, the one with wrestle, or a rookie. Like, he doesn't have a ball carrier.
Yeah, doesn't have good options. Yeah.
So I think the rookie is fine because you want to get SPP on him anyway.
Ooh, chooses to scatter the ball. That makes sense.
Does show you the power of Eldril though, right? Like, it's
ooh, catches it on the DP.
Magnet Hands shows you the power of Eldril though. Like, Hypnogaze is just a free blitz basically if it works. Right? There you go. Injuries start to roll in.
Yeah, there are a lot of based elves this turn, so we'd expect
often
that.
the downside of the turn where
this is 3 removals this turn though.
Yeah, it's often the downside of the turn that you sort of cage dive or try to sack is you end up with a lot of base players, and if it doesn't work out, you can be punished.
I mean, all of that said, there is 0 chance this ball is safe at the end of this turn. So.
Approximately 0, yes. The limit approaches 0.
Oh, the beast. Does not take the frenzy hit.
It was a 4+ really stupid, but you were ahead again.
I think my game is just moving a lot faster than yours because I haven't touched it, and my hand is completely off.
Well, it has to be. I mean, and it probably is because I'm also streaming.
3+ dodge into a 1 die gets it down.
Yeah, it's in 2 tackle zones.
It was a 1 die with strip ball, so makes sense. So ball's once again on the ground. Hypno Gaze does a thing on Cannoli.
We could have Hypno Gazed. We could have dodged out and Hypno Gazed one of the tackle zones, and then had a reasonable chance of picking up the ball. But I guess we can accomplish the same thing with the block that we made. Oh, makes the tentacles. We're just gonna.
It was strength 4. Just gonna stand there.
Yeah, he's just gonna mark the ball.
It's only a 3+ pickup. I think picking up in 1 tackle zone is not really like difficult for edge.
No, and we can also clear it up like trivially easily. Like marking this doesn't really do that much. Other than the scatter, I suppose it could like end up in the hands of a Rotter again, but.
Ooh, that's a good scatter for the Nurgle.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Completely away.
Third really stupid in a row.
Yeah, one of them was a 4+,
and a double skull.
2 of them were not.
And a quad skull.
A quad
I'm
skull.
so glad we picked this game. This has been so stupid.
We got a misclick skull. We got a quad skull. Of course.
Well, triple really stupid beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, Hypno Gaze fail. Everyone's just gonna fail at each other until eventually someone scores. It's probably gonna be the elves because that's just,
how elves work.
How this works. Elves need a lot less to score in these circumstances.
Yeah.
So we're gonna clear one of the 2 tackle zones off the ball. We couldn't get the Hypno Gaze for the second.
No, but it's still just a 3+ now, so that's not terrible. Although we fail.
Oh, fails it. Rerolls it.
Is it the last reroll? It is.
Yep, no rerolls left. Still has the wizard though. Faces the ball.
That's disturbing.
That was a 6+ catch.
I was gonna say that was in 4 disturbing presences. Oh boy. That was
super base. That was greasy.
Wow.
It was greasy as fuck.
Yeah.
6+, not even with a built-in catch. No, it does have a built-in catch. So he did have 2 shots at a 6+.
Yes, but it's still a 6+.
Disturbing presence affects passes too, right?
Yes.
So like there was no real way to get rid of that.
Oh man. Ooh, I wonder if he realized he got away with that.
And there goes Elbro.
Well,
I mean that looked like that very much looked like a I forget disturbing presence exists and therefore it doesn't exist.
A lot of people forget it exists.
Double movement up, killer going in, gets it down.
Is the frenzy.
Movement 8, too strong. Gets onto the ball. Great scatter for the elves, keeps things kind of in there.
This could pretty easily be just the wizard and then pick up and score for the elves too.
Oh, he tried to dodge off diving tackle. Uh-oh. People forgetting skills left and right, and Staticus gets away with it in the same way the elves did. Admittedly, it was only a 5+ and not a 6+, but still.
Oh man. Okay, well, fails that dodge. Do you just lightning bolt as the elves here, then pick up and score? Because you could do that like pretty easily.
No, you can just blitz off.
Can you make it?
You have no reroll, so there is a 2+2. Well, yeah, I don't think you. Oh no, he can get a dodge in there. Yes.
Oh yeah, we can do it with that guy. Yeah, that's fine.
1 to 9 there though.
Or not. I guess we're not scoring now.
We're not scoring this turn.
Yes.
So lots of elves on the ball, it must be said.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the Nurgle can scatter it pretty easily. There's a chance that it scatters out, but if it scatters to the middle, the Nurgle are probably closer to getting it than the elves
Honestly, the Nurgle can't scatter this very easily. Because Cannoli as you are is movement busted, so that's
he is movement busted. I didn't know. I forgot he was movement busted.
I mean, it's still pretty easy, I guess.
It had 2 2+s, but it was 1 2+ before I realized he was movement busted.
Oh, he's not scattering it. Gets the stand firm on the ball.
Oh, there's a KO.
Mighty Blow starting to rack up some removals.
Scatter could have been scary, but it may have been worth the risk.
Ooh, Fen sidestep doing gross things there. meaning there's going to be enough free players to clear up this ball. I didn't even see that turnover.
Skull.
What was it? Is it a dub skull?
It was dub skulls. Yeah, that's six skulls.
Foul on black vignette. Ooh, there's the wizard. The wizard to clear the Nurgle warrior off for an easy score here.
Could have done that last turn, but this way we score on turn 7, and that's only Nurgle can't exactly one turn.
I mean, I think this way you score on turn 8.
It depends on if you get this knockdown.
Or not. Or not.
Why are you so far ahead? Or not?
I don't...
Ooh, that's the wizard used, and we don't get the score for sure. Although the Nurgle can't really score either now, which is unfortunate. So they're just going to aim to try to stop the elves from scoring. Is their goal here? But that's going to be rough, because you can't really scatter it anymore. So we're going to just have to put tackle zones on the ball and hope for the most part. The wizard is gone, and so is Eldril, so clearing them all up is pretty difficult. Here's the sidestep stand firm guy, or sidestep fend guy again. Although we have tackle, so he is stunned.
Interesting that he didn't do that extra GFI to put the guard in play here. So yeah,
it doesn't
must be
matter.
said, pretty tough for the elves to score here.
Oh, they almost failed that. We are going to scatter it, though.
So we're scattering it. I think we're hoping it lands on one of the players and they catch it.
Like that? Another 6. Which...
Well, to be fair, that was a 5+ only, but yes. Wow. Wow. Some greasy shit in that half.
Yep. Wasn't that... It was -4, was it not? It was in 2 tackle zones and 2 disturbing presence.
It was a 5+. I mean, I looked at the dice roll, said it was a 5+. So I
should have been 2 disturbing presence and 2 tackle zones. Oh, was he Nerves of Steel?
Yeah,
I forgot he was the catcher.
All the catcher.
I can't tell pro elves apart, man. All pro elves look the same to me. Oh, all the KOs came back, though. That is huge for the elves.
So now we go into the elves' drive.
Yeah, this feels really bad for the
exactly what you want. Almost exactly what you want when you've committed the wizard.
Well, and the other thing is, all of the KOs came back, all 4. I mean, there were 2 babes, so that's there were 2 babes, so that's fairly likely. But it means that there's a full team of elves against the Nurgle, and that basically means the elves are going to score. It's almost impossible for the Nurgle to stop the elves from scoring at some point during 8 turns, without if the elves have a full team.
Well, that helps.
A little bit, yeah. Just a stun. You'll be fine.
Stun on the best player, though. Or one of the best players.
Yeah, it doesn't really do much, though. The Nurgle aren't going to be able to take advantage of it or anything. It just slows the elves down by 1 turn. Rotters have such a weird armor break animation. We haven't seen Disturbing Presence trigger either, but there haven't been very many blocks against them. Yes, that one. There haven't been very many of them against it yet. Eldril is back, of course. His right fist is very much larger than his left fist.
Yeah, because he's got the catcher's mitt. Because he's a catcher.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
All of the high elves, I think, all of that too.
He is.
Yeah, if you look at the catcher, like the movement up one, sideline Sammy, you can see they have a glove.
Yeah, most of the catcher type players do. The human ones do. They have like a baseball glove. It's kind of funny.
Everyone's just pushing each other around. But the elves don't really need to hit you to do damage. To win, I should say. The Nurgle definitely do. So this gets the beast in a really good spot if he wants it. I'm surprised he didn't follow. Oh, he's gonna put the.
Well,
beast
he got KO'd on like turn 3 or turn 4 or 5, but he just came back.
No, Eldril made it pretty far. I don't. It might have been only turn
4 or 5 is.
It might have been like turn 5, but he did a lot though before that. He like.
He allowed the 6+ catch to potato the ball downfield.
Yeah. Are we caging as elves? Oh, Hypnogaze fails.
Might be. Oh, you're ahead. Here comes the Hypno. And the failure. It's a weird cage, but it's a cage. I'll allow it.
Ooh. 1 on the dodge, but makes the tentacles. Has to reroll it. Gets it the second time.
Makes the tentacles, fails the dodge. That's a bingo.
Also gets the stand firm foul appearance player down.
Well, I mean, stand firm doesn't have anything to do with him falling over.
No, but it does have to do with like him. It's a risky hit.
That's true.
Make a 2 plus 55%, where if you don't knock him down, your best player is stuck on strength 5 tentacles. Eldril goes down to Mighty Blow. What will happen? Nothing.
Nothing. Well, I assume we're probably going to want to try to do something about Tripwire Timothy. But that's the thing, right? Like, the Nurgle now just are...
The Nurgle have no mobile tackle other than their out-soufflade. So this is kind of why we thought this was going to be a terrible game.
Pretty much. They're going to have to roll... He's going to have to roll some dice for this to work. He could have just rolled the dodge, but it's off tackle. So you're committing a reroll at that point if you want to definitely blitz the scoring threat. As Big Chuck points out, something that Secret Base probably forgot about is that it's very sunny out.
Oh, you can't pass
well, you
that
can,
far?
but it's a -1. And we also have Disturbing Presence. So the catch is going to be a -1, and the pass is going to be at least a -2. Potentially -3, depending on where he passes from.
But he's got Nerves of Steel.
Disturbing Presence doesn't matter. Neither does Very Sunny. Nerves of Steel does not affect those. And Nerves of Steel only matters for tackle zones.
I know. It's just like, I just love that both the 6+ and the 5+ were made by the Nerves of Steel players.
You're so used to not caring about tackle zones as Pro Elves, you forget that Disturbing Presence exists.
Well, he's got a sideline cage, so he doesn't need his quick score this turn.
Nope, not yet. But this does allow more Disturbing Presence to get in and around in important places.
Like this?
Well, we're going to move... Fell on Black... that Nurgle Warrior is going to move in, and we have Cannoli As You Are... who can 1 GFI to put another Disturbing Presence on the catcher. But the point, it's less about having Disturbing Presence everywhere, or like stacked, and more about having no place that the thrower can throw from. I know he's not a thrower, but the guy who's going to throw the ball that isn't in Disturbing Presence. So no matter what, he's going to be at a -2, which is pretty significant.
Goes for the surf from downtown and actually just takes the pow. It just starts going.
From downtown!
Ooh, gets it.
That's an armor break. Ooh, Tripwire Timothy is injured. Oh, that was really creepy. The Pestigore did like a blink animation, but it's one of the Pestigores that doesn't have eyes, so it's like face mask just sort of wiggled where the eye should be, and it was not very pleasant to look at.
Elves are looking pretty pressured right now.
Yeah, they sure are. They can get through here if they want.
They can get through. Where are they going? Ooh, Snake's the foul appearance.
There it is.
What a way for Snake for Snakes for foul appearance to finally make
an appearance.
An appearance. Yeah, you know what? I'm tired and a little drunk.
I'm no longer drunk, but I am tired.
Yeah, I'm not either. It's just like I'm 30 and I day drink, so.
You must have aged faster than I have. I am like way less affected by well, okay, one of two things is either I've learned how to actually drink correctly, or I am no longer as affected by hangovers as I used to be when I was younger, and I'm not sure which of those is the correct answer. It's probably a little bit of both, but
I would say probably a bit of both.
But
yeah. I don't think you binge drink hard liquor quite like you used to. So.
No, not as much. I mean, I did drink fairly significantly today, but it didn't. That was a while ago.
This is a 2-die into a 1-die, but he 1 and 9. Oh, right, because Juggernaut. Oh, into a 2-die actually. Ooh, gets the POW on the reroll.
But you're ahead still. There's the Juggernaut, and they reroll for POW.
Sorry, like if I'm playing at all, I instantly get ahead of you. I don't know what your computer's very slow.
I mean, maybe it's hot in here, and I'm streaming. I can turn on my air conditioner. Maybe that will help.
So the no break there means that this is a 2+3+ to pick up the ball again.
Tart-shaped box is out.
Ooh, tart-shaped box is out. First real removal for the Elves. Not that it matters, Staticus has 4 players on the bench.
Hypnogaze fails. Here is the Blitz. It's only a 1-die because that's the strength 5 piece.
Gets a POW anyway.
The problem is, like, even though the the Elves, it looked very like sort of.
Ooh, Snake's a dodge.
So the problem is the Elves are very contained. The problem for the Elves are very contained. It doesn't really matter though because there are 4 turns left for the Nurgle and they have no rerolls. It's basically impossible that they win this. The worst the Elves are getting away with right now is a tie. There's no way Nurgle score twice in 4 turns with no rerolls. And no actual ball carrier, right?
I do like that they're both aggressively failing at each other.
So far.
This is entertaining. I mean, once again, we've discussed this. Usually the Elves win that sort of thing because the Elves, when they stop failing, need fewer dice to win the game.
And they're already ahead, so even if they keep failing at each other for the rest of the game, the Elves just win by default.
That's true.
Well, Hypnogaze works there, so we get the loner out to Mark. I don't know what that loner is doing.
Oh, why were we trying to tentacles? Okay, or we do this. This is good too.
That's,
or we just
yeah,
score.
there you go.
That's
Just pick up the ball and leave. It's fine. Roll through tentacles and dodge. Oh man, I feel like you would probably be slightly annoyed as Staticus, but sometimes these games happen when you play against Elves as Nurgle. Like if they just roll a 6, you lose, and there's nothing you can do about it. We do get the Pestigore back, but yeah, the Staticus has 3 turns to score twice, and that ain't happening. So you set up to try to score because you want to get a touchdown on your rookies, and then you just, but you aren't too sad if it doesn't happen. You just kind of see if you can get SPP on players.
Yeah, it looks like the Elves are just gonna concede this.
Yep. Get a bunch of 3 dice, put your Pestigore on the LOS so that you can theoretically put him in scoring range. See if you can get a touchdown. Oh, well, there's another rock. Was it the same guy? Did he get rocked twice? He did.
Yes, Blake the Bomber rocks twice.
He got hit by a rock twice. They really hate him.
Someone in the crowd really doesn't like that.
Yeah, well, the first one was a stun, and the second one is a badly hurt, so he's okay, but man, they hate that elf.
I also like that it's Blake the Bomber getting bombed in the head with a rock.
Repeatedly. Well, There's a bunch of injuries coming in now. Turns out it doesn't matter anymore.
It brings Cannoli as you are closer to super legend.
Thank you, Ramasep. I spent it playing board games and drinking.
As is tradition.
Donut in the hole. Gets the knockdown. Puts himself in scoring position. I mean, Stouticus could aim to two-turn here if he gets lucky. Like, if the elves don't actually defend this, he could just two-turn and then pray for a riot, assuming we're not in the right stadium. We're not. Which is possible. But this is pretty easy for the elves to defend if they want to put any effort into it at all.
Who needs to defend when the Nurgle can't pick up the ball?
That's a good point. So yeah, they're just going to try, you know, the Hypnogaze. There's one scoring threat dealt with. That Rotter can't reach. It's just the two rookies. But we're just gonna... Here, you can try to score if you want. I'm gonna sit over here. And that's fair, you've won the game, so... Unfortunate that Static has failed to pick up, because now he's gonna have to roll more dice to get it to work. There's the Tentacles failures.
I mean, he doesn't need to score this turn. He needs to score next turn.
Yes, but he could score this turn because there's no real defense, and then you can pray for a riot to try to tie. Like, it's not impossible, but that's really the only option to try and tie it. And you also still have to pick up the ball. So like, you should play like you're gonna score this turn, and if you fail to pick up the ball, you can still score next turn. So we're gonna blitz the loner, and then we'll pick up the ball and try to get it to the rookie, and then see what happens, I would imagine. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. We're up to do 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus, or we can 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus, which is probably better.
Reminder that it is very
3 plus 4 plus 3 plus. Oh, so we're not aiming to score this turn. We'll take the score next turn. I feel like it probably was worth it to try to get it to the rookie this turn, though, so that you at least had another try if this fails.
What do you think the odds of Roshan Band dodging out of Tentacles into a 1-die sack on
100%. No, he failed.
Wrong. It's fine. Nurgle will be self-defeating as always.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to fail the catch, is what's going to happen. But we need to, that's why I think I would have tried to give it to the rookie there, just so you had 2 chances to get it further downfield. Because if you failed the catch, you could try it again next turn. Yep, there's the failure. And that'll be game. Well, that's sad. I mean, the Nurgle failed a lot, the Elves failed a bunch, but they also got 6s on 2 things that they needed 6s to get, and both of those resulted in touchdowns.
Don't on the whole, inching towards Legend where he will take tackle?
Yeah, probably. Either one. I mean, if you...
Despite getting no removals and 1 armor break, the Pro Elves take it 2-0, right?
Yeah. So let's look at the other games in that division.
Sure, we'll get that client.
That's true. I don't need the client anymore.
I do need water though, because it is hot.
It is. Well, I will wait for you, I suppose. Bring this up. Suppose while we're waiting, I will close the client so that we don't have background music. As much as we all love the Blood Bowl background music, I think we've heard it quite enough. For what it's worth, I think I predicted the Nurgle and Shadorra predicted the elves, which makes sense. I was just sort of like, you know, praying that the Nurgle would get some removals, but you know, they didn't, and it was one of those like contentious picky things that we do. Welcome back. And now we have the Rat Bastards versus Felwith's Quaddadal. 3-3. The elves and rats just scored at each other. We sort of predicted Not for Science would take this one because we assumed that his Lord Nathaniel Marr would ruin people. And he did. He got 2 Kaz. One of those being a dead Blitzer who is Mighty Blow Claw, Jump Up, piling on tackle, which feels so bad. Toskai is just losing his whole team this season.
And a gutter runner. It was a rookie, but still.
How did the palm die? I assume it wasn't actually from Lord Nathaniel Marr. He rolled a...
Rolled GFI because of minus movement. And he
Does he have minus movement? Oh, I guess. All right. We also induced a rookie blitzer with tackle just so that we'd have some tackle for this team. And
Interesting 2 things that jump out to me right away. First, Tunare had a completed pass, but no one turn. So despite it being 3-3, he never one turned with his one turner, at least. In fact, 2 touchdowns were on the Wrestle Agi script elf, which tells me that things probably got messy. And he made 5 passes on his throw.
Well, getting that SPP. And the Skaven induced a tackle rat specifically to try and deal with some of that dodge, and it certainly worked. You got a Kaz out of it, so that would be helpful. And it was on either the guard, on both the leapers went out, so that would have been a useful Kaz at any point. However, Toskai took 3 deaths and a badly hurt, so I mean, one of them was on a line rat, but the other 2 certainly are a pain. Poor Toskai.
Good news is he's level 2 line rats.
Great.
So he will have again. No, I mean that's actually it's
kick,
really important to level line rats. And also just even like block line rats or wrestle line rats are so important to the like longevity of a rat team. But it doesn't matter when all your position is with that.
Yep. Well, then we had Superfed and Travel Scrabble. Superfed taking a loss. The first one of the season. Yep. I think we both predicted Superfed would take it. We did. But Scooby and the gang, 50 blocks is quite a lot to get on a Skaven team. Or against a Skaven team.
Yeah, Frenzy, Necro are pretty good at that. They just like, they base up, they're in your face, they have the movement, they've got the
They were
frenzy.
just all KOs though. 0 Kaz inflicted on Superfed's team, 8 KOs.
That's so a lot. Fez Glitch getting a Kaz, earning his money. He's pretty cheap. When
The stadium,
yeah.
I love the no hands icon. It's just literally a guy with no hands. Like, oh, okay. It's self-explanatory.
Yeah. Got a completed pass on a gutter runner, and that's about it. Not a lot of SPP for Superfed. Just the
0.
MVP on his
Yeah, I mean, if the KOs went out early and stayed out, just not having a team would make, you know, defending pretty difficult. Both TDs coming on Muttley the Third, so we're not getting any SPP there. So maybe it wasn't quite in control as Travel Scrabble would have liked, considering that both touchdowns came from the Agi Wolf. You know, if he had more control, he probably would have tried to get it on like the rookie White, for example, or the other Flesh Golem. Or well, I guess they're both werewolves or legend, or the Ghoul, if he could have. But since both
on thing 2 to level him, so tons of useless SPP in this game.
Well, I mean, a win is good, and so that's nice to pick up, but no real, like, damage, no good SPP, so, you know, not the most relevant of games.
I see that I successfully cursed Larkstar.
Did you? Yes, Beard to Death and Ramaset. Ramaset took this one.
So by taking 71 blocks.
Yeah, you predicted, we both predicted the Norse because we just thought that the Norse would have a good, like, there's a lot of tackle. They'd be able to get some damage done on the elves. And yeah, that is a big number. I mean, there's 4 frenzy, but that's still a big number.
Yep. So Fu Manchu getting 5 leveling on 5 SPP from the MVP. Wolfman, the Ulfwarner, getting 3 Kaz by himself, and Horseshoe Hayes getting 1, but not enough to win the game.
Nope. Dead on the catcher, who is Blodge Step.
Not a big deal, but
yeah, unfortunate, but it could have been worse. They're not terribly difficult to level. You just don't want to have to keep leveling them because you don't have that much of a team. Are there any of the other ones? They're just MNGs. Yeah.
MNGs and a nice movement on the guard lino, which sucks, but it's
unfortunate. But guard linos exist to be useful and then die. We got the one touchdown came from on the thrower, along with 2 completed passes. So he threw some passes, then demanded to take the ball back, and then scored himself anyway. But that does level him, so I imagine that was very much on purpose to hit the 51 SPP to get the level up on Therian the Returned. Yeah, so despite the Kaz and the serious amount of blocks coming out, well, I guess 17 blocks or 71 blocks got 19 armor breaks. You'd think that's probably should have been higher with 71 blocks. But there were 5 Kaz, 4 KOs suffered. Probably why it was 1-0 rather than 2-0, especially if those came late.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect so, given that it went to 71 blocks. Like, that just means it wasn't very bad again.
Yeah, and that there was enough elves to block for a very long time, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I would expect the Kaz just didn't happen when you needed them to, and the elves, with the wizard.
First half scramble. Oh, okay. Ragedorf and Volcano. I predicted Ragedorf and you predicted Volcano, and Ragedorf won. I mean, they just beat up the Chorfs. It's kind of what you sort of expect if the Chorfs don't get the removals early and then end up having the blockers sort of like separated. 3 guard versus like 9 is just going to get out-bullied pretty quickly. So the Chorfs get a whole bunch, or the Dwarves get a whole bunch more blocks, which result in more armor breaks, but probably disproportionately. And then they can get a bit of an advantage. So like the Chorfs not getting the damage early makes a big difference there for the Dwarves. The Dwarves take that one, but they did get more armor breaks than they probably should have, comparatively. Although there was only 5 armor breaks for the Chorfs, and they were 2 Kaz and a KO. So that's not a bad, like, percentage wise from your armor breaks. You just want more armor breaks.
Oh no, they have 1 KO and 1 Kaz.
Oh yeah, I was, yeah.
Positive is only 1 and 1.
Still 2 for 5.
2 for 5 is expected value.
Serious concussion on Furious Dwarf, which means there's another low armor dwarf on this team. There are now several. I don't think there's a single dwarf that has its actual correct armor value.
There definitely is, but the suite of armor 7 dwarves.
Altdorf just badly hurt, but that is a loss for the next game, considering it's a strength up blocker. And Oshadorf grabs the MVP to level. That's the diving tackle one. Stand firm would certainly make him annoying. Difficult to block off, and has diving tackle. Another guard is always good. And then we had Big Chuck and Luminous, the Chaos and the Gourmet Governors. Big Chuck taking this one 2-0. I think you predicted Lumi because you kept feeling sad about predicting Lumi, or not predicting Lumi and being wrong, so you do predict Lumi and you were wrong anyway. I mean, I think I did the same thing, which I don't remember why, but apparently I did that. I forget the recaps the moment they end.
Yep. I mean, I do remember doing that, and it looks like it didn't matter. Lumi just got the crap kicked out of him.
Yeah.
He took 4 Kaz, only 2 of them stuck, so 2 of his vampires got Kaz briefly. 2 Kaz from a random warrior with no mighty blow, 2 from Stupid as a Stupid Does, the Palmer. Yeah, I mean, it looks like, let's see here.
I like how...
Yeah, a lot of breaks for the Cliché-Os. It looks like
28.
Did 28 and 45. Some of that might be fouling, or...
Yeah, 6 KOs, 4 KAs inflicted, then, you know, 7 KOs and 4 KAs taken. So an extra KO coming from either a foul or like a bite somewhere. But that's even if it's all just on thralls, that's enough to limit the vampire options pretty seriously. Lumi getting a completed pass and an MVP on Emmanuel Macaron to get him pretty close to legend. I mean, 11 or 15 is not that far off for a vampire. They can score not terribly difficultly. And a completed pass on Kim Jong-uni to put him in MVP range as well. And yes, you said stupid is as stupid does. Gets a level out of that, so he can get claw now. Claw palm, have the full killer suite. Unless he gets a double, and then maybe you could consider jump up. But I feel like claw is probably just better.
Yeah. No, I mean claw is 100% better.
I love how.
If it was strength, I would take strength. If it was anything else, I would take claw.
I love how all his team is actually cliches. And then there's the one player named Air that came from the market, I assume. But I just imagine that Big Chuck is making the proclamation that Air is a cliche and we don't need it. Air's for the weak.
And then finally, Bogue Bombers versus Dazed and Confused. Humans taking a 1-0 win against enormous Nurgle.
Medium Nurgle. Like, you know, average suburban Nurgle.
I feel like I predicted the humans here.
I predicted the humans. So we both predicted the humans, yeah. Just because the Nurgle have not that many tools to...
Humans outguarded the Nurgle.
Humans took a lot of damage for it. Agi bust on the Ogre, but who cares? MNG on...
Dead Blodge, Firm, Guard, Mighty Blow, Blitzer.
That's the big loss, yeah. The MNG is fine, the Badly Hurt is fine. MNG sucks because you're going into your next game with 2 Blitzers and with 2 Blitzers, which is annoying. And a Niggle in alignment is kind of irrelevant other than the fact that he's got kind of lino duty, so he's probably worth replacing just once you have money, just because you don't want to have a Niggle as your like LOS chumps, because it's just a kind of a free removal. But we get 53 blocks from the Nurgle, almost getting pretty close with 39 for the humans. They get
it's expected. I expected them to do a lot.
Yeah, with the guard. The Nurgle took 2 KAs and a KO. The humans took 3 KOs and 6 KAs.
Yeah, lots of KAs. So it looks like the Nurgle had amazing kill dice. It just
how did the humans take? The humans must have induced a second Apo because there's only 4 KAs that stuck there.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't count. That's 5. There you go. But the humans take that 1-0. Costly win, but a win nonetheless. After which, this is what our leaderboard looks like for REL 1. Superfed still up at the top, but he's not ahead by a win anymore because B-Dog won and Superfed did not. That puts B-Dog within 1 point of Superfed. So, bit of a fight for the top of the table now, although both of them are looking pretty good to finish in the top 5. Luminous is the 1 win behind, and then 1 point behind him is Toskai and Big Chuck with 9. Stouticus and Unseen Walker still very, very possible for them to jump into the top 5, and it gets a bit harder from then on out. But you kind of have to rely on your the Skaven and the Chaos there to either tie or lose for you to jump ahead of them if you are Super Base, Mongoose, Ramaset, or Not for Science at this point. But Superfed's lead eliminated a little bit, so he's got some competition at the top there. It should be fun to see. Shall we predict next week?
Yeah.
So we've got Toast Guy and Acropolis. So Rat Bastards and Dazed and Confused. 1550 Skaven, 1770 Nurgle. I mean,
Skaven with a wizard, but no team.
I mean, Skaven with a wizard and, you know, gutter runners against Nurgle is... It doesn't really matter. Like, the Skaven could all be rookies, and I'd still be pretty happy to take the Skaven because the movement 9 is such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, the only tackle is on a block tackle piece and a wrestle tackle water, so there's very little threat to any of the dodge pieces. There's only 3 dodge pieces, so it's not that big of a deal. But I think Toskai can pull out a win with a wizard against Nurgle.
I think so too. I mean, it's more about the speed. Like, Nurgle just hate movement 9 so much.
Yeah, the Nurgle also don't have sure hands, and there is a script ball gun runner. So this is hard to imagine as a win for the Nurgle.
Ooh, Luminous and the Bogue Bombers. Luminous is probably pretty happy about losing those two Blitzers being out for this game.
Yes, humans can be very tough for vampires.
Well, and the humans are down 2 Blitzers and the Ogre, so that is two guard, the palm tackle gone. That's annoying. The thing that is going to be annoying for Luminous, I think, is the movement 9 catcher. Like, vampires are surprisingly slow. So especially since they kind of have to rely on thralls.
Humans are fast and they have good kill potential. Like, it's really a bad combo for vampires. Yeah, there's only one mighty blow though because of what they're down. They are going to have a wizard probably.
Yeah, well, they get 100k, so no wizard.
Not a wizard then, because they're not going to burn their entire bank. It's probably a bribe. Yeah, they've got a GP bribe. Gonna be a tough game for the humans, but
it's hard. Like, if the humans had their full team, I would take humans.
I think so,
but
too.
The humans are going to be down 2 of their guard, so they have 3, which is still a lot. But the vampires can, hypnogaze and blitz. The humans are down their palm, which is a big deal against thralls and trying to limit the vampire options.
I think I like.
Well, I'll take the humans then, and we can have a spicy one.
Sure.
I feel like I would take the humans 100% if they had their full team, but it's way closer right now. Ooh, here's a big one too: Unseen Walker and Big Chuck, Ragedorf and Clicheos.
Ragedorf or Clicheos will probably scum a babe or something, but that's it. They're down the Armor 7 Troll Slayer. Your Claw will do nothing for you against this team. Big Chuck. Not actually true, but it'll do a lot less than it usually
That's
would.
true.
So one of the Super Troll Slayers is down, but not the Strength 5 one. So Big Chuck's going to get aggressively outbashed this game unless he gets removed as real
Wasn't Altdorf injured? Shouldn't he be out this game?
No, he wasn't. He's just badly
Oh,
hurt.
I could have sworn there was a Strength 5 dwarf that was out for some reason, or Strength 4 dwarf that was out for some reason from that last game.
Well, one Strength 4, so Big Chuck has his full team, so this is what
11 on 11.
The dwarves have 11, so did the.
It's a lot of guard, decent amount of stats for the dwarves.
No, there's more than 11 for the.
I thought you were counting the chaos and said 11.
No, the chaos have 2 bench, so 13 on 11. So if the chaos can get the removals rolling, they've got a pretty good shot, I think. But they're going to be so aggressively out guarded and bad. So unless they get the removals rolling really fast, I think Chuck's going to get the crack.
It's going to be the chaos will win if they snowball it, but the dwarves can bully the chaos early on pretty aggressively. I don't know, like I want. It's hard. The bullying is certainly a thing that's very annoying. Having played like a punchy team against that much guard, but I don't know. I have this like feeling in my heart that Ragedorf is just going to get murdered because they have been all season, and it's just going to be bad for them. And it's this. I'm sorry, Unseen Walker, and I might be cursing you here, but I'm going to take Clicheos just because I have this terrible feeling that you're going to die. So what are you taking there?
I took Ragedorf.
That's fair. I'm sorry, Walker. I don't know. My like gut is telling me that you're gonna get murdered, and I don't know why. I'm sorry.
There are 2 Claw Mighty Blow, but
that's not that many.
It's not. Chuck's team is not very killing.
Voltrex Vanguard and Volcano. So we have Ramaset and Mongoose is loose.
So 1470 High Elves versus 1710 Chorfs. Chorfs are missing a block guard Hobgoblin, not a big deal. Otherwise, they have 1 bench, so not bad. Got a sure hand. And the Elves are down a guard and a blitzer, but that's it. and they had a catcher die, so they got a rookie.
Strength catcher and Agi lineman are going to be pretty big deals here because they're going to have to rely on quite a bit of elf nonsense to do things, and those are players that can do a lot of elf nonsense, along with the thrower, for that matter. It's pretty serious passing ability with accurate now. And we get a good amount of inducements too. 240, which is a wizard. So, you know, elves with a wizard versus chorfs. The elves of the wizard is certainly a thing, but they won't have a bench, which is going to be a problem against 3 Claw Mighty Blow.
And I feel like most of the time Volcano just beats the hell out of the Ramset. He might be able to sneak a win out. But...
Yeah, I mean, once again, playing the averages here, I think if this game was played a bunch of times, Volcano probably wins more often than half. But it's pretty likely that the elves could also just, you know, score on their drive, use the wizard to turn the wizard into a touchdown, and then win 2-1 or 2-0, and so they have a really good shot at it. But, you know, playing the numbers, I think I'll take the Chorfs. Stouticus and Larkstar
have enormous Nurgle versus
Norse.
Norse. Well, big Norse, but not as big. Certainly. They get 100 or 250k. No, 230k. I like the.
I think I do too. I mean, the Mighty Blow exists, but it's not going to be as good as the Nurgle's Mighty Blow. There's a huge bench for the Norse, but I mean, it doesn't really matter when the Nurgle just push through you in your drive.
Is it bigger? No. Let's see.
Okay, well, they both have huge benches, but the Norse's bench consists of players that have block and aren't frauders.
Sure, yes.
Yeah, but the Nurgle are gonna...
They both have 4 bench, so...
The Discord is doing that thing again where you, it priority speakers me for some reason when we talk.
Oh, so my camera is super fucked on this window.
No, it's only because... Oh, it is.
And my name isn't centered. Basically everything about my...
I fixed that like 5 times, and it keeps defaulting back to where it was, and I don't know why. I have fixed that several times. Now it's too low.
Everything's...
I don't want to make it bigger. I want to move it. God damn it, OBS. And now it's like snapping to not where I want it to be. Everything's awful.
Also, my camera is still wrong.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh.
It's got a gray box.
I can't fix that very easily.
No, that's fine. Anyway, whatever.
I'm going to fix... No, you pointed it out. I have to fix it now.
Oh, I'm sorry. You say that like it's somehow my fault.
I wouldn't have noticed it if you didn't tell me, and then it wouldn't have bothered me because I didn't know. Okay, and then we have Travel Scrabble and Super Bass, Scooby and the Gang, Broken Bone Battalion.
Probably the Necro. Necro are good against elves, I feel, and rats and those sort of things.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of really good elves, but
Superface will probably be able to get a wizard by scumming, but it's only 40k.
And the elves he has are really good, but there's also some really good Necro. Like the 2 wolves are gonna run through those elves. Like
a lot of tackle, a lot of 2 tackle Mighty Blow, which is nice. So there is going to be, it's not going to be quite as easy for the Broken Bone Battalion to abuse the blodge as they did in their last game.
Yeah, and the Necro can also keep up with them. Like the elves can't just like potato outrun the wolves. The wolves will just, you know, sack you if you try that, which is going to be a bit of a pain. And the wolves can do just as much nonsense as you can when the ball is on the floor with Agi 5. So you're not going to get away with what happened against the Nurgle there. And then Not for Science and Superfed. Fellows Quadadol, Dreams of Golden Streams. Superfed gets 500k.
I think he still loses.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the one-turner is a big deal.
I'm sensing a change in the wind.
Oh, is this the curse now? You've activated it. Activate curse.
I don't activate them. I just notice them. I don't manifest the curses. I just catalog and
I see.
Broadcast.
Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling that you're probably right here. I mean, I think Superfed thinks he's going to win, but I think Not for Science is going to do Not for Science things. Then Superfed won't win anyway. Is like my very specific prediction. Is that Superfed thinks he's favored.
Fed might think he's gonna lose this one. Not to get too much in Fed's head, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if he looked at this and thought that he was going to lose. There are like 2 pixels of my camera that extend.
Oh Jesus! Don't tell me this.
Side.
The worst part about this is that it's because it's a screen cap that I just did really quickly and poorly on Discord. So the only way of actually fixing it is just resizing the Discord window. And I had resized it earlier while playing games on like Tabletop Simulator. See, that's the thing, is I can't fix it without making that smaller. So I'm going to have to do this. It's going to have to be there and we're going to have to deal with it. I'll have to fix it to an actual like real capture at some point, but I can't fix it. It's not going to happen.
Does Fed ever think he's favored? Yeah, I think Fed thinks he's going to win a lot of the time. I could go back and check his predictions, but I suspect he's predicted himself a
Does
lot.
Fed ever think he... No, the question was, does he ever think he isn't favored?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think Fed thinks he isn't favored here. And there was a game last season where he was like, no, I'm totally going to lose this. I remember.
He's predicted himself for this week, if that answers the question. He predicted himself every week.
I mean, I predicted myself every week in the Alien Fins one, and that went worse. Definitely went worse. Anyway,
I mean, to be fair, I think we've also predicted him every week except for this one. So, like, you know, he's got a good team and he's a good coach. So it's certainly not unreasonable. But I think this is the first one where it's a bit closer. Right, and then we have to go to 2A and look at the results. So we had Orcsploitation Cinema and Soul of Dragon's Fire. I predicted Marvelous Creatures, and you predicted Marvelous Creatures because Shooty lost Leorc Neeson, and we were just sad about that. And we didn't think he'd be able to do too much against the elf nonsense. And then he did. 2-1. 29 blocks, got 23 armor bricks.
Into 6 KO and 4 Cas.
So that helps.
Easy money.
What were those Cas? We have a Niggle on a Blitzer, which is unfortunate. An armor break or an armor bust on a rookie lineman, so that doesn't really matter. And then, you know, MNG or an armor bust on a loner and a badly hurt on a lineman, so they don't matter. 2 TDs on the fresh Blitzer though, so he's killed Duke. Has gone right away to level 1 to start building that up, which is really nice. They're we only had 1 level Blitzer now, so trying to get them back up to snuff is going to be a project for Shooty, and he's got step 1 done.
It looks like Shooty just pitch cleared him, and then like immediately, and then just had absolute control to score twice.
Feels like it. Demi Mork got badly hurt. Did make a pass though.
Probably 2 kill Duke.
And the other Blitzer, the actual skilled Blitzer, got 2 Cas and an MVP. So good SPP game for Shooty certainly as well. MVP on Tony Stork, 2 Cas on Ant. The kick wrestle lineman is the one who got all the Cas. Doesn't seem right, but okay, sure. I also like right. I really like Ant because it's just Ant-Man, but it's Ant. Because it's all like Marvel characters that are animals, so Ant-Man becomes Ant.
No, I get it.
It's so stupid, and I love it. Oh boy. Okay, and then the Lachlan Long Tongues and the Battle Brothers, Urs and Kilrick. I think we both predicted Kjellrik here, yeah. But the lizards just beat the Bretts to death.
Yep. 73 blocks. I mean, some of that is fend, of course. 16 breaks into 5 KOs and 4 Kaz.
Yep.
Easy money.
Badly hurt on Arthur Pendragon, badly hurt on one of the blockers, badly hurt on 2 peasants, and an MNG on one of the peasants. So nothing serious, but like if you just don't have Bretts on the field, you're not going to be able to contest with lizards who are way stronger than you.
That said, great game for Urs, who leveled 2 Saurus, and well, the skink is a whatever, but even that skink has a useful normal left to take, so you're not sad about like getting sure feet if that's what he grabbed.
It's the full complement of Blocksaurus is a real big deal.
Yes, and another guard as well, so he's up to 5 guard, which is really the sweet spot.
Yeah, that's the right choice there, I think. If you get like, you probably wouldn't even take a double, would you? Or you could take dodge, I guess, because he already has block.
Yeah, you'd consider blodge.
But Barney is just getting block regardless. Probably, yeah. And then we had the Rowdy Rebel Rousers, and here we fall. I predicted the Nurgle, and you predicted the Elves. And
yay, I did it. Looks like the Nurgle tried to beat them to death. 45 blocks into 21 breaks, getting 7 KO and only 1 Kaz. I'm guessing that Fall had a lot of babes, given that he had a billion inducements. Like 700.
He got Prince Moranian, or Moranian.
That's strength 5 agi, or strength 4 agi 5? What is
his block, dauntless, tackle, wrestle?
His stat line is what I want.
Oh, I don't actually remember. I mean, he's an elf, but I think he's strength 4.
Prince Moranian is 7, 4, 4, 8. I love that he is dauntless and strength 4.
For the strength 5 players, like the Beast of Nurgle.
Oh, he's also block and wrestle.
Yeah, he's kind of weird. But he's good, expensive. So if all those KOs came late, then, you know, maybe, or if Atomics like failed some pickups or whatever, the Nurgle may have very well just defeated themselves in this one, even though they got a bunch of removals. If the KOs came late or they all came back or whatever, which it's pretty likely that they did. It's hard to tell the story of the game without knowing what happened there, but there's several ways in which you can get that many KOs as Nurgle and still not do anything. So that's the way she goes. 1 Kaz on Sand Dune, which means nothing. Some Rotters take an injury, badly hurt on Chucky, which is fine. TD on the catcher for some SPP, completed pass on another catcher, and the MVP to Prince Moranian, of course.
He deserves it.
He is a prince. Yayo and Uber.
Know him hard, and yeah. Uber the Uber with Anagram Catastrophe. Uber the Uber taking this 3-2, I believe I called.
You did. Yeah,
did you?
Yes.
Nice. Nice. Patches Torah, who I believe already had some other stuff, has now taken an AV bust. Dead Lino, other dead Lino, mostly fine rats. Rats are fine.
Pack Shoe Tart died.
Nerf completely untouched. The Skaven made 12 blocks, 4 breaks into 10 KO and 0 Kaz, and sustained 7 KOs and 5 Kaz, but won 3-2 because
I like how
all three scores were on
that is
natural.
Less than 1 block per turn.
Yes, natural 1-turners.
Yep, all 3 came on the 1 turn. Ugh, gross. All 3 came on the 1-turner, so the Nurgle, the Nurgle scored, the Rats 1-turned. The Nurgle turned over the Rats because they had players, the Rats 1-turned. And then the Rats had their own drive. There you go. They 1-turned on it. Yep. Gross.
It is like a movement 13 sure feet sprint 2 heads piece, so like dodges on Agi 5, has built-in rerolls for the GFIs and the dodge.
Yep. Man, so he's getting close to legend. 11 SPP.
You take catch,
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, just because it's the only thing that currently doesn't have a reroll for the 1 turn.
Yeah, at that point you basically don't need rerolls because you also have a sure hands piece. So you do. It makes it more reliable, of course, because sometimes you will fail two things.
You could get a thrower and then have reroll for the pass if he's not in range, but it's just, that's dumb. I'm not suggesting that seriously. That was a joke before you get pedantic on me.
Like, people run throwers on rats.
Well, specifically for the one turn, no. It would just be better to have the movement 9 agi 4 pass than it would be to have the movement 7 agi 3 pick up and pass with sure hands and pass.
Yes, unless you didn't have rerolls and you had to make a pass, like a 3+ sure hands pickup and a I guess because the arch teapots.
You're unlikely to have to actually make the pass if you're movement 9. Yeah.
Moving on.
Nurgle lost because one turner. They got a bunch of SPP though. A level on a rotter sucks, but whatever.
Oh, he needs DP. He doesn't have any rotter levels.
That's fair. I mean, you don't need it, but it's good.
Toast is almost leveled to get something, probably block. I don't think he needs more like straight killers right now.
No.
Coco is approaching a new level where you pray for dodge.
Agi, but if you don't, you take extra arms, then be sad.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Good game. Slade and Our Name is Legion, Terror Alliance and Talk Show Terror. 56 blocks, 19 armor breaks into 7 KOs and 3 Kaz. Chorfs.
They both beat the hell out of each other, but the Chorfs got better. I mean, yes. The Chorfs got a lot of good things in this.
They certainly did. They got a win. They got 2 levels on Chorfs. So we have a chance to roll Claw on the Magician Reversed, and we could just take Piling on the World if we wanted to. Otherwise,
unless he rolled straight or a double for horns.
Yeah, that's really true. Nice.
So much mighty blow on this team. It's really bonkers. Slade has a strategy.
Orabi Light.
They people. Well, I mean, they win games, so they're not.
That's why I said Orabi Light, because they play to win. They just also have a boatload of mighty blow.
I like the movement up strength hobgoblin who will maybe one day
a ball carrier.
Something beautiful. That was just kind of weird.
He'll get sure hands eventually, and then he'll be a really good ball carrier. But for now, this hobgoblin is just sort of weird.
It is weird. Its stat line is really interesting, like 7/4.
Yeah, that's hard to come across.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Just badly hurts for the Necro. They did regen quite a bit, and then
regen. No, it was mostly KOs, so they only regen once.
And the Chorfs took some KOs and took some KOs in return. So, but not very much, and definitely not enough to stop them from scoring. But I think it's probably pretty good of Talk Show Terror to keep this at 1-0, frankly, rather than like 2-0, considering how many removals there would have been. So there you go. Then we had Sierra Boys Nashville Nasty and I Shoot Blanks. Sierra Boys and the Horn of Gorthank. I don't know why I always say team player team instead of just doing it like a normal human, but whatever.
I think we both predicted Sierra Boys.
That seems like something we would do.
We basically never predict the Horn of Gorthank to win because he doesn't have a team.
He killed the other team this time.
Only No.
But I mean,
the Wolf level. James Dean without caps, without capital letters at the start of his proper noun.
Punished for being named incorrectly. But that, I mean, you don't see 3 deaths in a game that often. I mean, you'll see a lot of fireable offenses, but like 3 straight up deaths don't occur that often. That's a lot of 12s.
I mean, that's 4 Kaz sustained. 3 of them deaths, 0 regens.
Unfortunate for Sierra Boys. Really unlucky there. I know the feeling, and it sucks.
Yeah, Bruce Fatunt and Cunningham Fatunt really.
Yeah, well, his team is very pretty much all he has on this team are the 3 Chaos Warriors with Claw Mighty Blow.
I wonder who he's gonna take.
Tackle.
And from or he's already got. that exact warrior. I don't think he needs 2 tackle
Oh,
warriors.
I would, but then again, it's also Nurgle rather than Chaos. Yeah, piling on would be fine. You take piling on. I think that's a good choice for that warrior.
People often take piling on warriors. I would probably take Stand Firm, but
yeah. I think I'd like to have one. I would probably take piling on him. I always forget that Chaos Warriors are movement 5, and that makes it a lot more reasonable. I think I'd take piling on at least one of them. It's just nice to have, especially when that's your whole game plan right now, because your Beastmen don't really do that much. Although that might compound the problem in that, you know, it's now even more reliant on doing that.
Yes. I'm hesitant to put 5, 4, 3, 9 pieces on the ground.
I think it's fine to have at least one. But
bring out your undead versus All Stars of Chaos.
Yep.
Time.
We induced Sindbad, the stab skeleton. He's also jump up pass block. Just so everyone's aware.
I don't know what it is today about inducement, like star players eating MVPs, but
that was like at least twice.
Eldril didn't, but
it's been a thing. It's happened at least twice. 1-1.
Or did Eldril? Yeah, I kind of feel like he did now.
The other we've had Sinbad and we've had Moranian. The blocks 65 for the All Stars of Chaos and 45 for the Khemri. Not that unexpected. The Chaos are probably gonna have an easier time blocking than the Khemri were, but the Chaos got.
Yeah, no, Eldril totally ate the MVP. That's 3 for 3. So. I'm pretty sure. Oh, Fed. I think Fed got Fez glitch and he did not eat the MVP, but there were.
He got the Kaz.
At least 3. Because Prince Meridian, Sinbad, and Eldril all ate
the Khemri took 2 KOs and 4 Kaz from the Chaos. Only one of those stuck around, so 3 of them got better. The Chaos took 3 KOs and 3 Kaz. Those didn't get better because Chaos don't have regen, it turns out. But we do get so pretty similar in terms of removals.
And they were all MVPs. So Pitbull, Baby Breath, Parippa the Ripper, the Rookie Warrior, and Bugged Igor all MNG'd next time. So the Sacking Beastman, the Stat Freak Beastman, and the Rookie Warrior are all out. So Locus is going to be a little...
Locus did get 2 levels out of it, though. Rookie Beastman is always good to get a level on, and a level on the Ball Carrier where you pray for stats, but if you don't get it, you take extra arms and cry, as per usual.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you've got the Pseudo Agi. You've already got dodge, so...
No, it's fine. It's just, you know, you're using... It's just so much nicer to have the Agi instead, because then it makes your dodges like Agi 5, and it makes a huge difference.
I do enjoy that we actually regen was the only one.
Yes, that's true. The MVP, yeah, we said went to Sinbad, but we got the Kaz on a Tomb Guardian to get him closer. Kaz on the... less leveled Blitzra, and the touchdown came from the super throw Ra, who's on his way to legend, which would be fun to see. So
I mean, he's got a long
on his way.
But, yeah.
After that, this is what week 6 currently, or the Division 2A looks like for the standings. Very much tighter here. The top 3 are 14, 13, 12 in terms of points. Slade, Urs, and Uber. And then Kelric is also at 12 in the Challengers Cup spot. So that's four coaches easily within 1 game of each other for the top spot. And then Solo Dragon's Fire, Fall, and Atomics are 1 game away from the 2nd place spot, so 1 game away from being in playoff contention. So we've still got 7 coaches that are easily in this, and then Locust, Rand, and Shooty are they have a chance, more likely for challengers than playoffs, but it's possible. And EAO, I shoot blanks. Our name is Legion, and Sierra Boy is not having the greatest season so far. Me too.
It's a building season. I keep having dead line rats, but my positionals remain pristine. I had one die this game, but it got better. No, I'm not complaining. I'm complaining that I'm losing because that's frustrating. But my team keeps getting bigger. 4
dead Nurgle Warriors this season.
Now my rats are incredibly durable. Like the rubber rat meme is real. I can't sack the ball. Like I sacked the ball twice last game, and they just caught it both times.
Easy.
Sun 6s. So, yeah, It was good. It was like a 2. He stalled on turn 7 where I had a 2+ with a built-in reroll to strip ball sack the ball, and I was like, this seems risky. He's like, well, I gotta, and then of course just caught it. I was like, okay,
well, Marvelous Creatures versus the All-Stars of Chaos. The All-Stars of Chaos are actually down a bit because they are missing the 3 players that we just talked about. The Stat Freak and the Wrestle Tackle are a really big deal going up against the Elves, frankly.
Yeah, but I don't think you ever want to be the underdog going against Dark Elves. That's just, as a bash team. Like, it's just not going to go well. So there's tons of blodge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 dodge. So 8 dodge in total.
1 tackle, and it's a warrior.
1 tackle. That's a warrior. GG, no re. That's going to be the Dark Elves for me.
It's hard. It's just gonna be so annoying for Locust to accomplish very much against that team. And being down as the Chaos or Nurgle or whatever in that situation sucks. Khemri and Chaos, Rand versus I Shoot Blanks.
I'm going to do a thing I never do and predict that Rand is going to win.
I feel like I will take that too. I mean, so the Chaos do have... Oh, they're missing a warrior. Yeah. So instead...
They're missing one of their good warriors. So they have 2. He did take tackle, by the way. That's baffling.
But anyway, don't think it's that baffling.
I don't think you need to Mighty Blow tackle claw guard.
I mean, as if you only ever roll normals on a Nurgle warrior, your progression is like block, Mighty Blow, guard, claw, tackle, stand firm, like in some order. All 4. If you only ever roll normals.
Sure. I mean, I would take stand firm, I think, over tackle there. And on most of those pillar types, stand firm.
I mean, I probably would have taken stand firm, but I don't think it's wrong. Let me put it that way. I think it's fine, especially considering what teams you have to play. We have CR Boys and Our Name is Legion. The Necro off. Although one Necro team is 340 bigger than the other one.
I mean,
that's true.
Can Cheney make up for the fact that you only have 1
double Agi Whites, though?
And you double Agi
Strength
Whites.
Zombie. Mini Flesh Golem. Block, tackle, plus strength.
That is a mini Flesh Golem. It's not bad.
There's some serious players on CR Boys' team, but there's more players on Tongue Terror.
I think our Legion is 5 guard is going to have this. 5 guard is so clutch.
I think that's a big deal.
Against, he's just going to outmuscle.
And 2 wolves make the running game quite a bit better. You know, you can blitz with one and carry on the other, and you don't really have that option. You only have 1 wolf.
Yeah, Mac is newly legend and has Dauntless for it, but Dauntless is not going to do a ton against this. It only works against the Flesh Golems, of course. And it's a 3+ to take down Brawny Carson. Though if he does use it to kill Brawny Carson, bonus.
That would be fun.
But yeah, I think I like.
I do as well. Here's a big one near the top of the table: Uber the Nuber and Slade the Black Mage. Terror Alliance versus Anagram Catastrophe. 2200 Chorf versus 1480 Skaven. So the issue. So okay, there's 2 things here. Patches Torah is out, which is a big deal against Chorfs. So the Chorfs are basically never going to lose their Chorf blockers. But also one-turner is a thing.
Yeah, and so is a billion inducements. I still somehow want to pick the Chorfs, and it's got to be wrong. There's no way that it's right. Like, Uber's got to be
I don't. Right. It really depends. So, if Slade can do something to the one-turner, he wins every time. If the one-turner goes out in the first half, if Slade cannot do anything to the one-turner, they do not win every time, because that one-turner is going to be such a nightmare for the Chorfs to deal with. And all the inducements, like, we're going to have a bunch of star players. Glart, the Claw, is going to actually be pretty useful. At the Strength 4 will be really useful. Wizard is incredibly useful. The fact that there's no shore hands on the Chorfs is very difficult for the Chorfs. Like it's impossible. I cannot predict this one because it's entirely down to whether or not the Chorfs get removals or not, and you can't decide whether that's going to happen. Rats, I guess.
I'll take the Chorfs. It's fine.
It's pretty much how I feel about it. It's coin flip.
I honestly think the Rats have the advantage there, but I could totally see the Rats just getting mulched.
Yeah, and if that happens, Slade wins.
Yes, but also if he never gets to cage up, and the Rats just steal the ball a few times on Wizards.
As long as the game remains messy, the Rats have a good advantage where they can...
Slade never has his footing or their footing. Like that's gonna be
Slade is gonna need to keep their cage tight and like play really cautious and overly safe to make sure that their ball is safe all the time, and that's not really conducive with removing Rats generally. So it's gonna be
it's a balancing act for sure. I don't think this is like one of those like you only win if you pitch clear the Rats kind of games. You just need to like play smart.
And it's harder to do it, and finding that balance is not easy. Some coaches overvalue the kill part of it, some coaches overvalue the safe part of it, and it's really hard to find the right balance there and play it correctly. I've seen both. Like I've done both. We've seen like Nurgle coaches lose to Rats because they try too hard to get removals. We've seen coaches lose to Rats because they try too hard to be ultra safe. It's hard to do. Yayo and Fall. Yield Guard, and here we fall. 1890 Nurgle, 1660 High Elves, so 330 for the High Elves, which is pretty big. Uh, 330 for the High Elves.
Any inducements? 230.
Because I read 1890 as 1990 for some reason. I saw the 9 and was thinking about it.
230 is still a good number. Does he have any bank? He could spend a bit on Babes. Like Wizard double Babe is pretty standard. Even Wizard Babe is pretty good here. There are problem with Yayo's team versus Agi is that this Frenzy Horns Mighty Blow tackle piece is going to take down your blodgers basically every time. And this team doesn't have much beyond blood. Like it's got a nice Mighty Blow piece, it's got the movement up catcher, it's nice, it's a really good one turner, and it's got of course the strength 4 blitzer, but mostly it's relying on kind of
and the triple guard from the Nurgle, 2 of them being blodge, is actually making sacking without like a wizard pretty difficult for the elves sometimes. Well, they don't have like a wrestle or anything, so it's going to be more difficult if Yayo plays safely than it would be against a normal Nurgle team.
Yeah. The only thing there, of course, is that Cosmic is likely to be one of the 2, or perhaps the only tackle on the field at any given time, because Coco won't necessarily be fielded both times, though in this case you probably have to. If Cosmic goes down, if Cosmic is taken out by that Mighty Blow piece and Pestigors do go down, then Yayo's going to have a really tough time. But I think mostly he should be okay.
Yeah, normally I'm pretty in the Agi camp when it comes to Nurgle versus Agi, but I think this is pretty good for Yayo, and it could certainly be worse.
It's got good kill potential, and yeah, Cosmic is going to be a terror for a lot of these bloggers. So. That said, it's still Nurgle facing a wizard against Agi, so probably the Agi.
That's a good point. Who are you going to take?
I
have a feeling about Nurgle. I'm gonna take the Nurgle.
I only barely talked myself out of
Atomics and Kilrick, the Rowdy Rebel Rousers, and the Battle Brothers. 2160 Nurgle, 1840 Bretts. 320 for the Bretts.
This looks hopeless for the Bretts, which means the Bretts will probably win. Every time I think Calric should win, he does, and every time I think he should lose, he doesn't. Lots of good Dauntless targets. He's got the blocker back. The blocker is back. So he's got a Houndmaster Hobbit. He's gonna have a wizard.
Yeah, like so, and there's the ubiquitous sort of 3 Claw Mighty Blow for the LOS blocks. Although the claw doesn't matter for peasants.
I love that he took strength on a Rodder. Fucking bad.
That's really funny.
That's why it's a 90k.
Yeah, embrace the bloat. You're already big. Go for it.
Take guard. This team has so little guard.
Ornan and Bird are both pretty good against the brats. Bird in particular. And we have the Claw Mighty for when we do manage to get hits on things that aren't the peasants. What is Kilrick's bench looking like? He's the bench of
right
2.
Now, I think. Oh no, it's pretty deep.
Could be worse. I will take Atomics, mostly because I think that
I'll take Atomics because someone
that's
has
fair.
to win.
If I was playing that team, I would feel like I probably have a good chance at winning, which is why I want to take the Nurgle. Just because I play Nurgle, so I think of things from a Nurgle perspective. And then lastly, we have Urs and Das Schuttenheim, Lackland Longtongues versus Orcsploitation Cinema.
Traditionally not a great matchup for Lizards. Not going to get any meaningful inducements beyond a Babe. Does have the full block complement.
Hasn't taken the level on Odie yet, by the way.
Has not, no.
Guard would be a good choice
Probably
against Orcs,
Guard.
yeah.
Yep. Hasn't taken the level on Garottle either.
Orcs have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guard.
So Lizards definitely need a bit of guard there.
They do have their bench of 1. Yeah, the Lizards have 4, and they could have 5 if they take it on Odie, which puts them pretty even on guard considering the strength of the Lizards.
Yeah. The problem is that the Orcs can stand toe to toe with the Lizards, while some of the Blitzers chase.
Yeah, you've got 4 block Orcs for 4 of the 6 Saurus, and then the rest of your Orcs.
But Urs is pretty well, so I kind of want to take Urs here. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Okay. I mean, I think I like Urs as well. Yes, I would also take Urs. Just, I think that the Orcs might have a hard time with that many Saurus that are pretty reasonable. Like there are the Blitzers, like you said, but the Blitzers are pretty limited in scope, considering 3 of them only have 1 level. So I will take Urs as well. And that, let me cover your eyes, I guess, while I bring up the scoreboard for the prediction competition, so we can take a look at that very briefly. 3, 2, 1. So currently we are doing garbage in REL 1, me in particular. Chuck has taken over the lead. Big Chuck has taken over the lead for REL 1 with 8 points, doing well. In REL 2, I am tied with Yayo and Superfed for the score. And then Superfed's almost top prediction in REL 1 and tied with top prediction in REL 2 has him pretty solidly in the lead for the first place of this, so we might have to call him Wonder Twin C, and I don't think any of us want that, Superfed included.
Yeah, that's just
although in what really the only competitors he has right now are Yayo, Luminous, and Unseen Walker, who are 8 points behind, but that's not really that hard a deficit to make up with our sort of stupid scoring system. But what's really important is that you're currently beating me by 1.
That is the most important.
We'll bring up the title screen. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. Why won't my full screen go away? There we go. That was week 7. We'll be back next week for week 8. Feel free to message us if you think your game from this week is particularly interesting, and we'll prioritize watching that one. Thanks for the Canada Day wishes. That'll be that. Thanks for being here, folks. We will see you for week 8, and until then, I've been Steakmittens, and we will see you next time.